What's up, guys? So you may have already seen that we had recreated Bob-omb Battlefield in Super Mario Maker a couple weeks back. Now, as you may already know, we have to actually recreate those stages so you can play them all in the retail version of the game. But when I went back to, recreating the stage, I realized there's probably a lot more I could do to make it even better than before. I've learned a lot of things since that initial creation, and I took some tips from some of my later levels I created. So I thought it'd be fun to walk you through what I've done here in our new level. Now, as always, you may want to go play it before you see me play through it so you can get the full experience. There's a code on the screen right now that you can go play it at, so if you want to avoid spoilers, I would recommend doing that. Although it's still fun to play even if you have seen me play through it, so I'd recommend checking out no matter what happens. Alright, let's go hop in here, and I'll show you what I've done that's different.
Here we go!
That's how you know it's a true Mario 64 level. Alright, so one of the changes you may have already noticed from my previous version is I'm using the Super Mario World theme now. And that's for a good reason, but I'll get to that in a little bit later. In fact, I'll talk more about some of my ideas once we play through the level, but let's go and continue on here. So of course we got cannons, we got Koopa the Quick, and we've got trees in the form of vines now, which you can use to climb and evade hazards. So we're gonna go underneath this bridge now. We can actually go underneath the bridge now to grab the coins. I know that annoyed a lot of people before that you couldn't. Grab the mushroom that's underneath or next to the bridge. We'll continue onward. Alright, we got another cannon here, the tallest one in the game. Let's continue past it for a sec. Oh no! Alright, well we got Chain Chomp here, we gotta be really careful now. And of course he's guarding a power star like in the original game. It's even behind a gate. So we gotta be careful and try and sneak into it here. Alright, let's go! Alright, we got the star, awesome, alright. So, let's go ahead and I'll get back to that in a sec. But let's go back to this cannon, because you may remember that in the original game, there was a secret you could use this cannon to reach. Now, of course, you can't shoot from cannons in this game, but you can do the next best thing, which is jump off their cannonballs, and we reach a secret island in the sky. It's got a coin block here, it's got another cannon, it's got a tree, and it's got a iron block that contains a flying power-up, which is a wing cap of the original game. But we'll get back to this in a sec. For now, let's pretend we didn't know about this and continue through the level as we normally would. So past the Chain Chomp, you would have a tilting bridge represented by these dropping platforms here. Now, there would normally be ground underneath here, but there's no way to replicate that in this game, really. And I wanted to make it an actual challenging level, so I added an actual abyss now. We've got a flower patch with the coins around it. Another cannon. Now, look, there's actual bombs dropping in from above. What's that about? So oh god, this is actually real bad. So I'm gonna have to redo this, but so the reason to have bombs dropping in from above is because I wanted, in the original game, there were actual cannonballs or water balloons that would drop in from above, so I wanted to replicate that feeling, and I thought what better way to use that than with the bombs, especially because it's Bob-omb Battlefield. I want to make it feel like an actual battlefield, so that's what I've done here. Now, next up we have the archway leading, the archway and the gate behind it leading up to Bob-omb Mountain, and I included a switch underneath, just like in the original game, and that switch would open up a path you could use as a shortcut. Now, of course, you can't do it in the same way here because of how this is a 2D representation, so instead I decided to put a door which creates a shortcut elsewhere in the level, but I'll talk more about that later too. Alright, let's continue on, and here we have the Bob-omb Mountain, which is the biggest change I made, because before it was more like the Bob-omb Slope, and now it's like an actual mountain. It's multi-layered, you got the balls that drop in from different layers, dropping in from above, so you gotta be really careful here. Alright, we're doing good so far. Now, one thing I wanted to do too this time is, in the original game you use cannons a lot for actual traveling. I thought it'd be cool to do that this way, and it'd be a good way to get to each level. So you actually have to use the cannons in order to, climb your way up the mountain. Alright, we got a bomb here, manning another cannon here. Carefully work our way past the dropping platforms. I wanted to recreate the holes in the ground. Or the thin bridges in the original game that you could use. So I wanted to make climbing the mountain an actual hazard. You can actually fall off the mountain now, which I thought was cool. Okay, now we can't really reach the area above from here. So I had the idea of course, using the cannon as well, but also using the actual gate as a platform this time, unlike in the original game, and use it to bounce off the cannonball. Alright, now we're almost at the top, so we just gotta cross over a few more balls. Make sure we don't drop here. We're almost there, to the Bob-omb King. Oh. Yeah, you get the boss theme. And of course, he's an actual king as marked by his crown. He's wearing a crown. Before we get to that real quick, let's head down here real quick and check out the goal, which is far below. And look, it's actually blocked off, so you can't actually reach the goal. So you have to figure out some other way of reaching it. So I create that hole in the mountain so you can get back in case you decide to explore that early. So let's get that king back here. Here he is, so we're gonna actually have to attack him. And we're gonna kick him off the mountain. Yeah, and that creates a little fireworks show, and we created an entryway. So I wanted to recreate the idea of having to battle the Bob-omb King instead of just skipping past him. And I loved how in the original game you could throw him off the mountain if you want to, and I wanted to do that here. So you have to throw him off in order to complete the level. Now, of course, if you accidentally kill him, or if he walks off the mountain or whatever, don't worry, there is a pipe over here that'll spawn more Bob-omb Kings, or his family members I like to refer to them, so you can just lead them to the edge and kick them off. So we're going to finish up the level here. And, yeah. But let's go and hop right back into it. There's two more things I want to show you before hopping into the editor. Actually, I'll hop into the editor. It's easier to show you from there. But there is still more to this level. Okay. So, let's go and get back to that main cannon there. Let's get back to the island in the sky. So I want to make it a bit of a secret, so it is pretty well hidden, and it is hard to get to, and there's multiple reasons for that. Alright, so we got our cape now. Now, in the original game, there was a star you could get by, or one of the goals was to fly through the 5 golden rings. So, I replicate that here with the actual gold rings, and let's see if I can do it. Awesome, alright. So, as you can see, I actually, in the original game, it would make a good noise if you flew through the rings, and I decided to do that here with the light bulb effect, you know, telling you you're doing it right. And if you follow them just right, first off, you saw they did a little celebration at the end. Secondly, it takes it right to the Bob-omb Mountain, right up to the king, which is awesome. So that it's actually a huge shortcut if you can pull it off. It's a nice little reward, and it's like the original game where you can actually fly up to Bob-omb Mountain if you want to using the winged, or the suit. So you can see the cannonballs dropping in. Let's head down here real quick. And let's show you the other shortcut, the bigger shortcut in the level now. Or actually, I guess not big. I guess it's about as big, but just as tough to pull off. Because you have to, first off, make sure you don't accidentally kill all these bombs first. And you need, I think it requires you need to have at least 2. So we're gonna break in here. Alright, I think we'll make it. Yeah, we'll be good. So yeah, you have to use at least 2 bombs to get in here. And then you activate the switch, which clears the way to the door. Now, as I mentioned before, the way the shortcut worked in the original game was, I mean, it was quite a bit different, but it wasn't that big of a shortcut. But there's no way to really replicate like how it worked in the original game. So this time I decided to combine that shortcut with the idea of warp points. But in the original game, you could use warp points to warp later into the levels. That's what I did here. So if you take this door, it takes you deep into the Bob-omb Mountain. It gives you a little celebration there, and we're gonna climb up the secret path right into the tunnel where the balls emerge from, like in the original game. That's where you could warp to, and you can climb right up to the Bob-omb King. And here, and you can just complete the level from here. There he is. Yeah, so there you go. That is our levels. Let's go hop into the editor real quick. Talk about a few final things. So yeah, so I loved how there's many ways to complete this level or go through this level. Again, Mario 64 was a huge open game. I wanted to recreate that feeling, and I think I did a pretty good job. So I think I did a much better job this time than I did before. I learned a lot of tricks about the editor since then, and I learned too. I wanted to more create. Now I want to balance recreating the original level, as well as actually making it a good level of Mario Maker. So even if you don't know the original level at all, I still think it's a pretty good level. I mean, maybe I'm off base on that, but I think it actually plays pretty well. Alright, so first of all, the biggest change I made, as I mentioned before, the change to Mario World from the new Super Mario Bros. U theme. No, I like the new Super Mario Bros. U theme originally for a couple of reasons. I like the giant mountain in the background. The Mario World kind of has that too. But also kind of like the 3D feel of it all. Actually made it, you know, feel a little bit like Mario 64. But there was one big problem with it. Or 2 problems. One, the biggest problem is I knew I wanted to make the Bob-omb Mountain proper. An actual mountain, multi-layer this time, with a backdrop, and I made a backdrop by having platforms. The problem is none of the platforms looked good in the new Super Mario Bros. U theme. You have the gate, you have the flower stuff you just saw, and then you have finally the closest thing is a mountain theme. And this isn't bad, this could have worked, but it didn't look at all like the mountain in the Bob-omb Battlefield, which is like green and mostly brown. So that's why I went with the Super Mario World theme, and it had the second benefit of actually making the gates here look more like gates. And on top of it all, let me change this here back to the mountain. So you can see how much more like a mountain it looks now. So I love that. And also, it's just kind of cool seeing Bob-omb Battlefield recreated in an older Mario theme. So let's see. So one of the other things here is, you may have noticed I took an element from my Donkey Kong arcade recreation, but I realized you can actually have, create these paths that are multi-layered for the balls, or, the grinders in this case. So I actually decided to do, it's basically Donkey Kong arcade right here, where you get multi-layers, you get the balls that drop, or the grinders that drop to the next level. And, yeah, so I decided to recreate that feeling of actually having to climb a mountain, and actually make it feel like a mountain. So I hope I recreated that, or I hope I was able to accomplish that. Now we have, okay, then, as for the secret area, by the way, I made it so you can't get to it any other way. You can only get to it via the door. You can try entering the tunnel if you want, but you can't drop down, and why would you want to? There's the grinders coming out. And then I also, and showing you, okay, there's actually a few things I want to mention here. So, I was trying to figure out how to make the goal. In the original version of the level, I had the flag peeking out the top, which is kind of cool, because it mimicked the flag from the Koopa the Quick Race, but it wasn't that big of a deal, and, I knew in Mario World I wouldn't have the flag, so whatever. Instead, I wanted to recreate the feeling of it being a mountain, so I decided to have the mountain drop off, and you actually had to drop down to the goal, and I blocked it off with the blocks to force you to have the boss fight, as I pointed out before. But then I had the, I think I mentioned before, you have the problem, if you drop down, there's no way to get back up, so then I just added the hole here so you can climb back up, which worked out pretty well and combined with the shortcut I already had. Alright, let's see, anything else here I want to mention? I think that about covers it, so... Yeah, so, oh, you can see the, so I have the cannonballs or the bombs up here that drop in. I just put them in the sky and they'll drop down when you trigger them when you get close enough. You can see the sound effects I added to the top of the coins there. And, oh, and I guess I'll show you one more thing here, sound effect-wise. You can see I layered up the top of the mountain with the boss fight theme, so it only plays a theme when you're actually fighting the boss. Now, you can't actually apply sound effects to the boss itself, so it will play whenever he's on screen. The problem is, even if you're below him, it still plays. And it doesn't really feel like a boss fight at that point, so I decided to do away with that. Plus, if he walks off screen, then the boss fight goes away too. So I thought this was a better way of doing it. And then I added the cat sound effect to him, but I just like the idea of it feeling more powerful when you punch him. Alright, I think that covers it. So, I thought, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Again, you'll play it for yourself. You can play it using the code on your screen right now, so go check it out. It's a lot of fun. And thanks for watching. So, of course, stay tuned to GameXplain for more on Super Mario Maker and other things gaming as well. Alright, thanks guys. Bye.